coronavirus. Yesterday, they tested about 1,700 people. Just over 14% were positive.
In Georgia, 2,000 new cases today with 60 more deaths. With 2.5 million people tested since the start of the pandemic, about 10% have tested positive.
Top Trump administration health officials took the hot seat before a Senate panel today to defend the government's oversight on the development of a coronavirus vaccine.
The president has promised a vaccine would be available by the end of the year, but a lot of people are skeptical about that. Natalie Brand tells us what came out of today's hearing.
1347 and 1350.
The director of the National Institutes of Health and the U.S. Surgeon General assured a Senate panel that politics will not play a role in the development of a coronavirus vaccine.
The rigor of the scientific evaluation of safety and efficacy will not be compromised.
There has been no politicization of the vaccine process.
Under the Trump administration's Operation Warp Speed, 6 vaccine candidates are in rigorous trials, with 3 of them in the 3rd phase.
Are you still confident that you'll see a vaccine sort of before the end of the year?
By the end of the year is the goal, yes.
A recent CBS News poll shows a majority of registered voters think a vaccine that soon would be rushed through.
There will be no shortcuts, and when a vaccine is either approved or authorized by the FDA, I and my family will be in line to get it.
This week, 9 drug manufacturers took the rare step of signing a pledge to ensure they would not seek regulatory approval before trials showed their vaccine is safe. A trial by AstraZeneca has been paused after one participant suffered an adverse reaction possibly related to the vaccine. The NIH director told lawmakers that's the way the system should work.
This ought to be reassuring to everybody listening. When we say we are going to focus first on safety and make no compromises, here is Exhibit A.
Both experts committed to working to make sure cost would not be an obstacle once a vaccine is available. The Surgeon General also warned that this coming flu season would be the most important of our lifetime and urged Americans to also get a flu shot.
And when it comes to earning public trust, the Surgeon General says he's looking at using celebrities and social media influencers to help get out information on those COVID vaccinations. Much more news ahead after we have a quick look at the weather. This is a live look at Wheeler Road. Sunshine, a little sunshine trying to peek through there, Riley.
Yeah, it's kind of depending on where you're at this afternoon, on the type of weather you're seeing. Some of us cloudy, seeing some showers. Others may see a few peaks of sun out there and not feeling all too bad. Here's a look at radar. The heaviest batch of showers we're currently tracking is in our southern counties through Emmanuel, Screven, Jenkins, and Allendale counties. A little bit more isolated coverage the further north you go. We'll look at closer towards the metro here first. You can see none of these are all that big, so if you get clipped by one, it doesn't last all too long for you, and this is not very heavy rainfall by any means. Now, this one now crossing over into Hancock County from Warren County, just south of Mayfield there. That one's a little bit heavier, but still nothing really in the way of storms. We're not tracking any lightning out there, so just kind of heavy downpour to get the lawn and garden wet. In Allendale County, once again, some moderate to heavier rainfall kind of peppered through the northern end of the county, heading towards southern Barnwell. A little bit towards the west, Manuel County, you got a good batch of showers and storms kind of peppered all around Swainsboro. We're going to keep these in the forecast the next several hours, but by midnight tonight, our pattern should be more quiet. Take a look at your Thursday in just a little bit.
New details about a shooting in Grovetown. We're told investigators have been able to speak to the person in the hospital. It happened in a neighborhood on Juneau Court, that's near Wrightsboro Road. Investigators say the victim told them he met friends there around 2 this morning. The victim tells investigators he was confronted by 2 men wearing hoodies. The victim says they confronted him at gunpoint, assaulted him, and then shot him. Officials say they have some leads they're following.
A man arrested on a murder charge had his first appearance in a courtroom today. 18-year-old Robert Prince being sent to Superior Court for that bond hearing. On September 4th, Richmond County deputies responded to a disturbance call. They found Kathleen Bush dead at the Azalea Park apartment complex. Both Prince and Roger Felding were arrested on charges of murder in that investigation. Police near Atlanta had to do a double take after clocking a motorcyclist going 178 miles per hour, and they have the evidence to show it. Officers did not even talk to the driver about why he was speeding or tried to stop him. Instead, they passed along this message, a post from the Alpharetta Department of Public Safety that said, "Hopefully the driver of the sport bike matures a little before a tragedy happens." Under Georgia law, a superspeeder is a driver convicted of speeding at 75 miles per hour or more on a two-lane road, or at 85 miles per hour and above on any road or highway.
A 100,000-pound monument.
On the interstate, this is Knoxville, Tennessee, and the pilot tells officials he took off from one airport there, heading to another one in south of the city when he realized he didn't have enough fuel. So he was able to land the plane safely, but then this happened. The plane was refueled, and the interstate was blocked off to give that pilot just enough distance to get airborne and to get on his way again. But boy, you got to check those gauges, don't you? Or else you land right there. Big day in Paris. Part of the Notre Dame Cathedral reopens today. The archaeological crypt allowed people back inside for a tour. This crypt somehow was not damaged in that devastating fire. It did suffer from toxic lead dust. It had to be decontaminated. But this fire back in April 2019 gutted the interior of this famous cathedral and also toppled its famous spire.
No trick-or-treating on Halloween. That's what health officials in Los Angeles are saying. The county's Department of Public Health has banned trick-or-treating activities along with Halloween parties, carnivals, and haunted houses.
Boy, that is the latest update on the county's coronavirus health orders. We asked on our Facebook page if you think kids should trick-or-treat this year.
Chris writes, isn't this the one day where everyone will be wearing a mask anyway? And Christina says, so does this mean Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's is canceled too? Because that's exactly what it's looking like.
I think Chris makes a good point about the mask. It's just you need a serious mask instead of the one you normally wear on Halloween. But, you know, if you can go to school, can't you trick-or-treat safely?
I know. Can they
with
figure out
social distance?
a way to do it and still be safe?
We have a few weeks to figure it out. Okay, stressed about going back to school? Your kids might be. We're going to tell you what you can do coming up here in 90 seconds.
And if you're stepping out anytime this evening, there's going to be the chance for a passing shower. Take a look at your Thursday forecast coming up.
1982, a 12-year-old.
Paid for by Help America Vote Act.
Back to school time is very different this year, whether your child is going in person or online.
And either way, they're going to experience some stress. But Haley Hernandez tells us what could be going through their heads right now.
For the little kids, returning to school might have them asking questions that reveal what they're scared of. What about the virus? What's going to happen to mom and dad? Here to explain, Dr. Stacy Passay.
Last several months, they've been at home with mom and dad who have kept them safe, who have protected them, who have put all these boundaries in place, and now they're being told, go back to school, someone else is going to take care of you. And that feels really jarring for young kids. So not only are they worried about like, okay, am I going to get sick? But also what they're leaving at home are parents who have to go to work. And so they're thinking, oh, what's going to happen to mom and dad if I'm not with them?
Expect the little ones to be more clingy and nervous at drop-off. Use words to make them feel safe and empowered.
Of course, you have some worry and some fear, and let's talk about the safety precautions in place.
While your teens and tweens might be expressing more irritability and frustration, especially if going to school still doesn't allow for the socialization they've been craving.
I'm not going to be able to go to all these after-school clubs, and so we have to really not dismiss that social implication for them, because that's what is going to be the most poignant kind of in their experience returning to school.
She says find a way to still give them time to socialize.
Having something in the driveway or having some friends over in the backyard, they really need that interaction, and it's probably very anxiety-provoking for them to consider not having that in a way that feels comfortable and normative.
I can only imagine what's going through children's head right now. You know, so many questions, so many concerns.
And such a different school year than anybody's ever seen before. But parents, remember this. If your child is learning from home, the experts say it's also a good idea to keep them on the same kind of schedule, just like they would have at school. All right, we want to give you a live look right now. San Francisco, we've been watching this shot for the last few hours, but that sky is just absolutely orange. That's the Oakland Bay Bridge between San Francisco and Oakland, and of course all that heavy smoke from those wildfires still burning there in California and several other states. They even had reports of ash falling from the sky out there, and the air quality, you can see those headlights are on most of those cars. It should get worse as the day goes on. Riley, just not a good situation for the quality of the air out there on the West Coast.
Definitely not, Richard. I mean, you can just see how thick it is out there. And take a look at this. How about from a satellite perspective? You can just see how large this plume of smoke is. It's stretching all the way from the wildfires starting up near Washington and Oregon and just traveling all the way down that California coastline. So all the cities from LA to San Francisco, Sacramento, they're dealing with a lot of smoke out there. Poor air quality and just not safe to be outside in that. And very visible here, so you can just see that stretching all the way down the East Coast, and a very active fire season for them so far. For us, we finally got our cloud cover back, and we actually are seeing some rain on radar this afternoon. It's not as widespread as we've seen some days this summer, but other days has been fairly dry, so this is a little bit different situation for us. We are tracking some line of showers moving through Swainsboro, down stretching all the way to Allendale. They're kind of just swinging through, so they're just kind of counterclockwise spin right here. So these will be heading towards Burke County, Jefferson County, and then Washington County next. For us here around the metro, our rain chances not really connected with these all too much. We may be able to squeeze out a quick little tiny shower that looks closer to this one. So this is between Sparta and Mayfield here in Hancock County. They just kind of pop up and then fizzle out. But we're going to keep these around at least the next couple of hours. Up until around 10, 11 o'clock, we'll likely keep that chance for rain. And then overnight tonight, just staying cloudy. Mid to low 70s out the door early Thursday morning. So it's going to be another day to where there's more clouds than sun the first half of the day, which should help keep our highs generally in the mid to upper 80s. But as we heat up, we'll likely see more showers and form on Thursday. On Friday, it's going to be a very similar scenario once again. Wake up in the 70s, low-level clouds, heat up throughout the day. See some downpours moving through later into the afternoon. Now Friday looking a little bit warmer, not by much, but maybe a few degrees with us getting back into the low 90s across the area. Overall, next 5 days though, I would anticipate a passing shower storm most afternoons all the way into early next week. So even for those outdoor weekend plans, just anticipate the chance for rain. But looking over Aiken County right now, this is the setup. So it's kind of depending on where you're at across the area, on what type of weather you're seeing. Over here in Aiken County, they actually have blue skies. It's a very nice afternoon, but further to the south, a little bit higher rain chances. Overall, not going to change our pattern all too much the next 5 to 7 days. Highs generally in the upper 80s to near 90, and storms possible most afternoons.
Well, this looks like your standard license plate, right? Not exactly. We'll give you a closer look and tell you how police responded.
I'm Jamie here.
Your next Walmart delivery might come from the sky. Today, the retail giant launches a drone delivery program in Fayetteville, North Carolina. The pilot program focuses on delivering some grocery and household essentials using automated drones. Walmart is partnering with the company Flytrex to do this. The drones are controlled over the cloud using a smart control dashboard.
Look out below there. Watch out for the chips and the eggs. Okay, maybe you've been to an Apple store, but this one isn't even on the same playing field. This one's actually on water. Check it out. A glass dome-shaped building on the bay, a 360-degree view of the city skyline. It's called Apple Marina Bay Sands. It's in Singapore. It opens tomorrow. Nearly 150 people work there. They speak a combined 24 languages. And wow, that is next-level Apple right there. Take a look at this. At first glance, it looks like a normal Kentucky state license plate, but look a little closer, you're going to notice somebody hand-sketched this one.
It's pretty good, but not good enough to fool police. Officers in Millersburg, Kentucky, which is outside Lexington, pulled the driver over. He was also found to have no insurance and was driving with a suspended license. Makes sense. The officers gave some advice on their Facebook for any drivers who might be looking to test their DIY license plates. Don't forget to draw the registration sticker.
Yeah, it's the details. Always the details. We're back in a moment.
You're having a...
There's not a whole lot of rain out there currently, but for the next... several hours, we're going to keep the chance for just kind of hit-and-miss downpours moving through the area. Those should be coming to an end after midnight tonight, and temperature-wise, going to remain pretty muggy in the mid-70s for lows. For your Thursday afternoon, we're expecting a day where you have a high chance of seeing rain at some point, most likely going to be in the afternoon, early evening. Our high temperatures should stay generally in the mid to upper 80s tomorrow afternoon. Now, if you have plans to head out to those Friday night football games. Unfortunately, Friday night we could not be seeing the nice weather that we saw last week. We are keeping the chance for a few showers out there through the length of the game. The higher rain chance definitely going to be around kickoff and then going down gradually towards the end of the game. Temperature-wise, though, we should remain in the 80s, and hopefully we'll be able to get most of those games in. We also have the start of archery season Saturday for deer in the CSRA. There is going to be the opportunity for showers and storms there as well. Better time to get out. The tree stand most likely going to be in the morning time. As we head towards the weekend, we're expecting highs generally in the mid to upper 80s and rain chances staying with us each day over the next 7.
Right, thanks. That wraps it up for First at 5. Be sure to keep it right here for News 12 at 6 o'clock. Hope to see you then.